I could do that. Growing up in Turks and Caicos. Well, I grew up right here on Provo. I was born here a long time ago, and we had three settlements: the Bight, Blue Hills, and Five Keys. And there was one way to go backward and forward was the Ankle Express. We had to walk wherever you want to go. I, I went to school in South Caicos first, so I didn't have the long walk when I was the little boy. And I came back from South Caicos when I was 7, and I went to the school in Blue Hills. And we walk across here, and all that area there, you see the grass up here on the road, on the side of the road. We call it the grass patch because it was only grass. We had a footpath, and when you get to where that gate is, it was a pond. That's why they call it Sellis Pond. And the water, you got water across the Salina when it rains. If it don't rain, it's dry. But they built a bridge. You could walk from this side to that side, walk out to the beach, and then you walk to Blue Hills. You got high tide, you have to walk across the rock, which was tough. With low tide, you walk around the rock because the sand was always hard. Could almost drive a car on it. So I started that journey when I was 7, going to school down there. And I did that until I left and I went to school in Bottle Creek. I finished there. The school was close then. So that was the early part of my childhood. Each settlement had a Baptist church. So it doesn't matter how many denominations they have now, everybody was Baptist at one time. Everybody. And we go to Sunday school Sunday morning, and then you go to church, the 11 o'clock worship. Well, we call it 11 o'clock because now they call it 11 o'clock because we had no time. You go to Sunday school when Sunday school finished, the worship starts, you leave that, you go home, have dinner, and the children come back to Sunday school again. When that's finished, then you have the evening worship. So the island was full with worshipers. Now, I didn't say Christians, I say worshipers. Growing up, my stepfather, he was the senior deacon at one time. All these pastors and stuff we didn't have those. We had senior deacon, and we used to have what what we have as pastors. We used to call him the minister. Come from Jamaica, and he would be in Grand Turk, and I guess every 3 months he'll make a lap around the islands, go back to Grand Turk until that time comes. So when he leave, my stepfather was in charge. So Sunday mornings, I had to get up and go and clean the church out. There was no dirt there to clean, but I had to go and pretend. Sunday evening, I have to go and light the lamp. And the lamps with shade. I think we must have had about 4 or 5 lamps. And that's what you use to read and sing with. And that was growing up here in the Bight. Most of the boats would come in on the north side. And you got a donkey. A donkey, that's what transportation. We didn't have donkey carts in this part. So we used to call it the chair for the donkey, and they had it was a way they used to make this basket. You put it over the chair, and you put whatever you're carrying on both sides to balance it out, and the donkey take it home. What the donkey don't carry, you carry right there. You fold something, sometimes put on your head, and you carry your load on your head. We burn coal. A lot of people burn the coal, take it out too early, put it in the sack, go to bed and get up. The coal catch fire. And that was hard work. You know, all the work was hard, but looking back at it now is like fun. We had so much fun with no money. Now you got people with so much money and no fun. If you think about those days, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, walking the Blue Hills, a couple of people walking together, laughing and talking, making jokes, and you don't realize how quick you get there. Now, if you go in the Blue Hills, you could jump in a car and be there in 10 minutes. I do it in 10 minutes from where I live. Most of the time, it's only me one in the car, no one to talk to. But, but the fun disappear. Yeah, one wedding could last 2 weeks. You party, you party a week ahead, a week after. My mother, when she not teaching, she's sewing, and she made just about, I'll say 80% of the wedding dress during that time. And that's how I learned all those Sankey tone. I know a lot of church songs because when she sewed at night, I have to hold the lamp. I hold the lamp behind the machine, and she could see how to sew, and we sing. So I learned just with all the songs in the Sankey. I know two verses without looking in a book, but that's what we did. We do that not to sleep because you got that white cloth coming through. You sleep and the lamp fall down, the oil on it. She responds, so you had to stay awake. So that's that was me and her task. Stay up in the night. The wedding tomorrow. That dress have to be finished. So no sleep. And she made all my shirt and pants. Yeah, we didn't have to go to the store. She didn't have to find out my size to buy clothes for me because she had my size, and I stand up in front of her and she just sort of. I went to the school in Blue Hills. My mother was the principal for the school in Five Keys, and because I was small, I never grew. She sent me to South Caicos to stay with my uncle, where the school was close. And after she remarried, she gave up the school, and she stayed at home, and she brought me back from South Caicos to accompany my sister to Blue Hills to school. When I come home in the evening, she'll give you something to eat, but while you're trying to eat that, she in your books wants to see what you do that day. So if you get we said something wrong, you get an X, and something right, you get something like that. We call it a P, like the same thing you got there. We call it a P. That, I guess that means pass. And if I got one wrong, I have to stop eating and fix that before. So stuff like that helped to make me what I am right now. She was so strict. She stand over you with the strap, just like the teacher in school. So I had no break. To go to the islands, you had to go by boat. And when you get there, that's it. You leave from here and go to North Caicos. So you'll go to Q, that's the closest point, and you're going to Bottle Creek. So you know what you're looking at. You have to walk. The first time I went to Bottle Creek, we went to Q on a Sunday evening, and we had to walk from Belfield Landing into the settlement. We stopped there and got a snack. Then we walked to Whitby, and the road was from Kew to Whitby was so narrow. You get to some points, you had to turn side ways too fast because the trees was on your shoulder, and some, and you get Whitby. We sleep in Whitby the first time. Get up the next morning. I had to be in school in Ball Creek for 9 o'clock. So we started that journey, sunrise, whatever time it was, and we got in Ball Creek before the time. Now you could hang around and just jump in a car and go there. I go I go to North Caicos now, rent a car in Belfry and go to Middle Caicos. Those days I only hear about Middle Caicos. I had to grow a man to go to Middle Caicos. Growing up with my mother, every time I do something other way, she gonna beat me first, and then she gonna say, "When you man, I'll let you know." My mother died at age 73, and my age right now is 78, and she never said that you're a man. When she died, I had 6 children, and she said, "Bring the children and spend a little time with me." I carry the children, but she never say you're a man. So, to now, I have to call myself a man. I can't say my mother ever tell me I was a man. Growing up as a little boy, the only work on the land was working on the road. Like when they build a bridge, I was a little boy. I come and I carry rocks. The money at that time was pounds, shillings, and pence, and I think I get like 2 shilling, which was less than 25 cents for the day, not for the hour, for the day. And my mother collect that. I never touch it. She gets all my money, and it went until I finished school in Bottle Creek. And I was home for maybe 3 months. The principal for the school in Blue Hills got pregnant, and she wanted me to come and fill in for her. I didn't want to do it because I had to walk to Blue Hills again. And my mother told me, "No, no, you're going." So I had to go. At that time, the salary was like £7 13 a month. £7 13, and I never touched one of those dollars. My mother collect my pay, and she never say, "Well, I get your pay. Here's a shilling. Put in your pocket." Well, it was nothing to do with it. Nowhere to go and spend it except you buy candy. I'm the teacher in school, so I don't walk around with a pocket full of candy. So she didn't give me anything. But the good part of it, when I just was ready to go to the Bahamas, I didn't need no money. She had all my money, and I got in the Bahamas, and because I never controlled any of my money, my mother controlled it. I was there working and sending my money back home. I did that for maybe 3 years. I paid the necessary bills, like I had to get someone to wash and cook. I had to pay transportation to and from work, and I sent my money back home. My first job was construction, and I come out of the construction, and I went in the kitchen, and I that's where I learned to cook. So I work at 3 different restaurants in the Bahamas, and when I come home, I open the kitchen in the Arabs up on the hill here. I I light the stove and made the first breakfast up there. Okay. When I was little, the farming was done strictly with a cutlass and fire. You chop the bushes, pile it up. When it dry, you burn it. After you burn it, the ground cool. You put the seeds in, and that's how. we get food, all this fertilizer and water and stuff. We didn't have it, so we depend on the rain. If it don't rain, well, then we had people who didn't make no preparation, so they had nothing. So they depend on what you get, and they'll come and work a day with you. I forget what they used to call that word, the program. They weed, and anything in the area they weed, they have it. That's their pay. If if they don't collect nothing, they go home again with nothing. Grits was our main course. You have grits just about every day, and the grits come from the corn you raise in the field. You go home in the evening, you grind the grits, and that's your dinner. But we have everything in the field. Have grain, bean, okra. We had a cucumber. You cut it and you squeeze the seeds out, and you cut it up just like you do the okra and make soup. I saw some a couple of weeks ago down at the farmers market. Uh, when I see it, someone just, and I finally get a pack from them, and I took it home and I prepared for the children to cook. I squeezed the seeds out, and I did the same thing we used to do. Just throw it, and I don't know if any sprout. I ain't seen on sprout, but I looked to see a sprout because that's how we planted. And we had another seed we do like that called Benny. I don't know if you know Benny. We get it from Nassau. I got a pack sometimes last year, and I sprinkled some, and I only know it come up. One day I saw these two stalks up, and it had the buds what hold the seeds. And I said, I found out that the boy who cleaned the yard, he pulled them out. So I still have some. I gave it to quite a few people to see if they could handle it better than me because, the guy waste my time. I planted, he pull it up. And you, these Benny come up, you have to spread a cloth down and you turn it down and shake them out. It it would take it would take an area, probably as big as this area, to get a quart to get that much. But we make Benny cake. And Christmas Eve night in the churches is a big night. Christmas and Old Year's night. The woman would make Benny cake and they bring it to church. That Benny cake, coconut cake, and queen cakes and stuff, and they sell it in the church. And that's when the little children come out, and the parents will shop for them. Every time you wake up, they buy one of whatever it is and give it to you. But you sing all night, Old Year's night, Christmas Eve night. You go to church and you go home in the morning. When the turtle started, it was in 1966. I remember the Sunday because that's the Sunday when your Uncle Elton got married. Your grandfather and Uncle Tom, the owner, the guy who bought the land, he came to Freeport and picked them up by plane, brought them here, and they got all their business done that Sunday in Grand Park. All the office opened just for them to sell this land here. This land here used to be owned by my grandfather. They probably sell that for about $200 or so. And I came back. I left here in '63. I came back in '66, and they started the first three buildings up there. So I think they had 8 or 10 rooms, and they had a little kitchen downstairs. And well, everybody on the island had work. Carpenters, mason. Don't mind if you don't know what you're doing. They hire you and they pay you something, give you something for that. And when I came back in '74, the Arab was almost finished. And that's how I do the open the kitchen out there. Arabus was brand new. And then from the Arabus we had Island Princess. And then we had all these other little small places, pop, 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 until Club Med came in '74. And Club Med came, then the Island went, because they had to put in airport and road to go to Club Med. That's how we get the road and the airport, Club Med. Okay, when I came home, I work up here at the Arabus. Lemuel Johnson worked at the Turtle, and he did all the water sports because it was just fishing. He did bone fishing. So I walked up there, and a couple of times on my day off, I went on the boat with him because we didn't have fly fishing then. We go in the mud and just jig and catch bonefish, and that was like fun. But I always had a boat, so all the people who come to fish, he take them. One year, he had more people than he could handle, and he asked me. One day, he gave me two or three rods, a couple of jigs for me to go out and take some people. I did that. Went back in the kitchen the next day. I was off again. He asked me. And then one time I decided, I'll stay in here. I just fish. And that's what I did from then until the doctor asked me to retire 4 years ago. I had to retire. The boat run from my knee to my lower back, so I had to retire. So that was like a challenge. I had the boat in the yard looking at it, and I was tempted to put it in and go. And then I remembered the doctor said, don't fool with the boat. I sold it. I don't have to look at it. Now I'm thinking on getting another boat, but not for bone fishing. I don't think I want to do that because you could go out, it could be flat calm, and the wind pick up, the sea pick up, and you have to come back home. So you're not going to sleep out there and wait until it gets flat. You're coming home, so you got to go through it. So that was that was the challenge. I know a lot of church songs because when she sew at night, I have to hold the lamp. I hold the lamp behind the machine, and she could see how to sew, and we sing. So I learned just with all the songs in the Sankey, I know two verses without looking in a book. But that's what we did. We do that not to sleep because you got that white cloth coming through. You sleep and the lamp fall down, the oil on it. She responds. So you had to stay awake. So that was me and her task. Stay up in the night. The wedding tomorrow. That dress have to be finished. So no sleep. She made all my shirt and pants. Yeah. We didn't have to go to the store. She didn't have to find out my size to buy clothes for me because she had my size, and I stand up in front of her and she just sort of going backward and forward to Haiti. They had boats like I would say from 30 to 40 feet. You go on the banks and get conchs, and you have to dry it. You dry the conch. You take it to Haiti and you sell it, and you bring back fruits, corn, peas, and stuff like that. And the woman would get conchs on their feet. They go and walk out by the shore club on that beach, and you find conchs along there. And they dry the conch. When the boat going, they'll sand the conchs. The first, the first time I went to Haiti, It was in 1962. I went on the boat with my brother-in-law, and I can't remember how many conchs we had, but we got in Haiti, and the captain sell the conch, and he come aboard the boat saying we had a good trip this time. Everybody happy. We get 80 cents, 80 cents a hundred for dry conch. I went to a place 2 weeks ago. I was looking, someone told me they sell dry conch, and I went there. They had two in a Ziploc and had it in the freezer. I pick it up and I went to register. The lady told me $20. I said, no, boy. I said, I, I could buy a boat and do better than this. I sell 100 conch for 80 cents, not even a dollar. And you want me to give you $20 for two conch. You know, I don't know how come the prices change. Well, I know it can't stay to 80 cents, but not $10 for one. That's hidden below the belt. And every time they go up on price, they say the gas went up. I go to the lady I was talking about where I go and get breakfast when they have farmers market. I went there. I don't have to order my food. She know what I want. And when I get there, she say, "You got to give me $2 more today." See, because the fish went up. You know, I came back from the Bahamas. You could buy fish. I don't know. You're not buying it because you give them a dollar and they give you so much fish. And now they sell fish $10 a pound, the cheapest you could get it. You know, and they go up because the gas went up. The gas went down 3 times, and the fish still $10 a pound. You know, the people get you for just their mind. Tell them, well, if he want fish, let him buy a boat and go fishing. So everybody can't sell fish. Wouldn't be no one to buy it. But that's how they think. You know, and we go to Haiti. Our refrigerator used to be salt. You get more fish than you could eat. You put salt on it. Sometimes you keep some, but you take it to Haiti and you could sell it. You sell your dry conch, your dry fish, and you bring back food from Haiti. You could buy cloth, bring back. My mother would make you a dress or a shirt. That's that's how we that's how we made it. And everybody was still happy. Nobody walk around with a chip on their shoulder and all. We grew up happy.